Welcome back, friends. We are in lesson number 71. In lesson number 69 and 70, we have seen how we can add sounds to the sprite library, let's say from either from scratch or from uploading them from your computer or from recording your own voice. Right now, before we move forward, I also want to just briefly tell you how you can edit these sounds once they have been added. So how can I edit sounds that I've added for a particular sprite, right? So now for this purpose, I've gone back to the original project where let's say I have only one sound called the meow because that comes with the default. However, the principles that I talk about can be applied to any sound no matter how you have got it, right? So let's say here I've got this sound and I want to change how I can basically use it, right? Now the first thing I want you to notice is that there is a duration which is kept here. So it says 0.85. This is always in seconds, right? So this particular sound is, let's say, 0.85 seconds long, right? So I can, it's taking 0.85 seconds. Now just for before going forward, I'll just duplicate this. So I have another one available here. Now let's go back to this. Notice this is 0.85 seconds. I have also got just like this costume. So I had the paint costume, I had the paint editor. I also have a sound editor over here, which is quite powerful. Actually, we can use lots of things. So one thing I could do, for example, is that I can make this sound faster, right? Now notice the moment I click faster, this duration keeps going down because the same sound is being played faster, right? So and it sounds a little different as well, right? Next, I can of course make it slower, right? And go back. See how different it's starting to sound, right? I can make it a little bit louder. I can make it softer. I can fade in, which means in the, and likewise I can fade out. So you can, you can imagine how well, how all these things can play out. I can also reverse this sound, right? So if I reverse this, it's exactly same sound in the reverse order, right? In fact, there's this feature which makes the sound appear very different from what it is. It's like some kind of robotic sound, right? Now you can apply this to any let's say sound that you have. You can do tons of things on it, but for now, because I've distorted quite a bit, I'll leave this here. Let's say disconnect. I'll remove the duplicate. I'll go back to the original, right? Now let's just add one more sound to illustrate something else as well. So let's say I go and add this sound called a bass, right? Now this is a little bit longer sound. Notice it's 1.28 seconds. Now let's say I want to play a sound which is this and this together, right? And sometimes you can do it obviously from the code, but let's say I want to add a part of this code to part of this sound to another sound, right? So let's say I'll duplicate this thing and say I want to, at the end of this, perhaps I want to play this meow sound, right? So what I can do is I can say copy, and I can just select whichever part I want to copy. Right now, of course, this has to be done a little bit carefully. Let's say I select this whole part. I can go and go to this a bass and I can say paste. So now I've got a sound which is basically this sound plus that sound. In fact, I can do other things as well. I can go and select this and say, let's say I can delete this completely. So sound has become quite different from whatever it was. And so on. I mean, it did not feel so different, but let's say I go and chop off this portion, so you can clearly see how different it will become, right? And so basically using this, you can create lots and lots of sounds. Like I said, once the sound is in this form, again you have option to make it slower or say faster, or you can again reverse it. You can fade in, you can fade out, and so on and so forth, right? And this robot gives you sound as well, right? You can make it softer. You can in fact mute it completely. And you can of course undo this so it comes back, right? So there's lots of things you can do with this. Be creative, enjoy that. I mean, there'll be basically lots of ideas that you can do. Okay, take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.